home is your happy place, where you're confined into a space where it's just you and your family. No outsiders, your place of peace. When someone invades that space, it can never be the same again. If you didn't know, this is the story of how I got robbed and tied up in my house. From posting silly things online to actually having something serious happen to me. That changed my life, I'd probably say forever.
This is lawless UK. There is no fear of any repercussion in this country whatsoever. In London 2 weekends ago, 2 would-be thieves on scooters tried to smash the glass of a Bugatti supercar.
Attacks on people that have luxurious and expensive watches.
Just absolutely getting out of hand.
2 innocent people with expensive watches, both were robbed.
The attack had left him fearing for his safety.
So hi guys, it's Yianni. If you've clicked this video, you've obviously seen the title. I haven't actually spoken about this before externally, besides to my friends and my family. But based on what's going on in the world right now, especially in the UK, I thought I would tell you what happened to me. So let's take it back. 2016, I'm single. I live in a lovely house, nice watches, flash cars. I've got an incredible business that's growing, making me money. I'm now getting famous. I'm very well known. I'm traveling. I'm living life. No stresses whatsoever. No stresses. Fly how I want, do what I want, when I want. It's a crazy time, and everyone around me in my circle was doing well. So we were all enjoying together, celebrating life, celebrating each other. I worked hard for this life. I grafted, and I was now being able to be like, you can enjoy this now. You can have that flash car, and you can go on these extravagant holidays and go clubbing and pop bottles of champagne like you're the man, and your name comes up on the screen. Oh yeah, YIANNIMIZE. As much as I didn't drink, but still popping it in the club like you're the big I am. And back then it was cool. Listen, I was doing that when I was 22, 23, 24. People would embrace that. People would be like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And you'd celebrate with your friends. And then other people on other tables are celebrating, and you're all doing well. It was a great time, great time. Instagram came about, and it was like it was made for me. It was like the best thing in the world. I had a business that supplied and customized cars to celebrities. You've got your likes of your Bakary Sanyas and your Simon Cowells, early days of JLS, One Direction, El Hadj Diouf, we've done his Chrome SLR, William Gallas. Mate, I'm famous now, I'm the guy. I'm that guy. And I wasn't arrogant with it, but I liked show. I liked a nice car. I liked a nice watch. I liked a nice house. I liked to fly a nice way. I liked to go on a nice holiday. Is that wrong? I worked for it. I wasn't a fraudster. I wasn't robbing people, but I worked hard for what I wanted to show. But because it was social media, it was cool. And listen, I was an adult still doing the stuff that, I want to say kids, but people with money were doing. And I didn't see anything wrong with it. Now, Richard Mille is a watch, a very expensive watch that I'd bought a few years back, and it was a watch that I'd always wanted. You know, when you set a target when you're younger, I always wanted a Lambo, so I bought a Lambo. I wanted a Richard Mille for years. I was trying to get this watch, and it was so expensive. When I bought my Richard Mille, I went to Harrods, and I remember this day so clearly. And Watch Anish was there, who's a big guy on Instagram. If you don't know, he's the watch guy. I said to him, I'm going to buy a Richard Mille. He was like, oh wow, go on. And this was before the Richard Milles were the Richard, and everyone's got a Richard Mille. And I remember, like, I'm going to go and buy it. And he's like, how are you going to buy it? I said, just buy it on my debit card. And he was like, I'm going to film it, I'm going to film it. So I remember going there, went into Harrods, saw the girl, blah, blah, blah. And it was like 90 or £1,000. And pulled my debit card out and put it through. And I just remember, boom, just went straight through, nearly 100 grand straight through on my card. And I'm like, yeah. And he's filming it, and he's putting it on his stories, on his Instagram.
So you're all done. I'll give you
in the big leagues now. Yianni's just gone shopping. £94,000. Visa debit. Oh yeah. What did you get, buddy? You're in the big leagues now.
I remember posting a picture of the watch with the receipt and the box, and looking back now, I'm like, what were you doing? Like, what are you doing? You idiot, don't do it. What are you doing? I was proud. I remember posting a picture at YIANNIMIZE, and I think there was a P1 McLaren, because my watch was rose gold and it was 1 of 50. I remember posting it with the P1 there, and I was like, yeah. Oblivious to anything that I thought would have happened. Oblivious. And I do look back and I look at those posts and I cringe a little bit. But at the time, it was the thing that everyone was doing. Having that Richard Mille, that piece, you go to an airport and people would look and they'd be like, wow, is he wearing a Richard Mille? That's like the price of a flat or a car on your wrist. It was incredible, but I worked hard for it and I wanted it. The fashion early days of social media and what people used to do, it was all about where you were going, what you were doing, what car you were driving, if you had jewellery, the holiday, if you were flying business class or first class, and you'd post pictures. That's what social media was about, just showing what you're doing. Another trend was you'd have your watch, you'd take a picture and you'd have your steering wheel behind with the emblem, whether it be a BMW, a Mercedes or a Lambo. And I was involved in social media very, very early on, so I got caught up in that trend. And because I do cars, I've always got things to post. Me doing that probably put a target on my back without me realising. I had my 40th birthday party, the white party, where I was wearing a very expensive watch. Everyone came down, and I was all over social media. So if you liked me, it was great and you're embracing it. If you're one of my friends, you're enjoying the journey with me and I like to help my friends. And if you don't like me, it's look at this guy, he thinks he's flash. Why does he think he can do that? Now, should you not be able to wear something that you want to wear, or should you not drive the car that you want to drive because of what people think online? Or is it, well, you're rubbing it in my face? I lived in a nice house, and the house I lived in was gated in Enfield. At the time I had a Ferrari and I had a Range Rover. I used to get people to drop their cars off at my house. So we were always busy at YIANNIMIZE. If they couldn't bring their car to me during the day, I'd be like, drop it to my house. Again, naively thinking everyone's cool. So people would drop their cars to the house, they'd either post the key or I'd meet them there. So I had a lovely house here and I had a field in front, so all the cars would be parked. If you're an old school follower or you've been with me for a long time, you'll remember the house. I lived there on my own, it was cool. So this one evening I went out to a club in London, drove up there on my own. I had the Ferrari at the time, met a few friends there, and I left the club around 2 o'clock. Obviously when you're out, stories, posts, etc. So if someone's watching my social media, you're pretty much telling them where you are at what time. So people know, okay, he's not at home. Pretty much if you're a football player and you're playing midweek, whether it be in the Premiership or the Champions League or whatever, they know you're not at home. So they think, target. We can target that house because the chances are someone's not in. So I went to the club, left the club around 2 o'clock. I just sold my Lambo at the time. And the guy that bought my Lambo said to me, Jan, do you mind if I give you 10 grand cash? Just towards it. And I was like, yeah, if you want. Not a big deal, it's no problem. So usually I don't really have any cash at my house, like maybe £500 or whatever, but don't really have any cash. So had that £10,000 and I pull up to my house. So the way I pull in, open the gates, which is gated, there's like 8, 9 houses there. As you drive around, blip the button, my garage opens and I drive the car into the garage. I blip the button, garage closed behind me. Cool, so I go in, I think I had an LV bag at the time, I just leave it in the kitchen. I go upstairs, I put the money into the safe, and as I said, it's about, probably I'm home now, 2:30, 2:45, have a quick wash and go to bed. So I'm sleeping, and I'm quite a deep sleeper, so literally the house could fall down, I don't think I'd wake up. And I remember getting woken up, that I could hear something, and I just got whacked across the side of my face. I think it was the back of like a screwdriver. So I'm up, I'm now dazed. I've got no idea what's going on. I can hear noise. Come here, grab him, pull him, pull him, pull him. So I'm trying to come to my senses, I'm half asleep. Eventually I get my bearings and I can see, okay, there's 3 guys, balaclavaed up. Where's your watches? Where's this? Give us this, give us this, give us this. And I'm like, okay, cool. Whatever you need, no problem. So I've now come round, I'm a little bit bruised, but I've got my senses now. So straight away I'm like, there's no one in the house. It's only me on my own with the 3 guys. So I don't have to worry about protecting anyone. So if my family were there, my kids, or if I had a girlfriend or a wife at the time, my mindset's different because I've got to protect them. Because it's only me on my own, I'm like, okay, cool, it's only me. So the worst thing, they can kill me or they can hurt me, but there's no one there that I have to worry about. They were like, where are your watches, blah, blah, blah. So in my head, I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna try and take them away from the safe. So the watch I was wearing that night was in a bedroom next door to my bedroom. So I took them over there and I said, listen, here you go, have that watch. So he takes that watch off me. And he goes, go on your knees. So he goes, give me your earrings. So obviously I'm on my knees and I'm looking up at him and he's standing there and the other 2 guys are there. So I take my earrings out And I handed my earrings. So now he's got my watch and he's got my earrings. He then goes to me, and this was the real eye opener. Yianni, where's your Richard Mille? I remember looking up at him and sort of smirking and be like, this is not here. And he went whoosh with the baseball bat to the side of my head. And he was like, where is it, where is it? I'm like, it's not here, it's in Harrods. And the reason it wasn't there is because I had a tiny little scratch on it and it had to go there to be repaired. So it was a blessing that it wasn't there. He then takes me downstairs where they're roaming the house, and there's 2 of them with me now, and they've now tied me up with like black gaffer tapes. They've held my hands. 2 of them are standing with me in one of the rooms, and you've got one guy roaming my house. Obviously I know he's looking for the safe. He shouts, bring him up, bring him up, bring him up. Brings me upstairs, they find the safe. Safe shut. So he's like, open the safe. I'm like, key's there. So the key was on the side. And he goes to me, open the safe. I'm like, I'm tied up. Like, how do you want me to do that? So he's put the key in, he's trying to do it and he couldn't do it. So he's like, open the safe, open the safe. So I go there, open the safe for him. And as the safe opens, he's like, sees a couple of more watches in there and sees the £10,000 stack, which was given to me by my friend. I remember saying to the guy, I think just before that, listen, I've got kids. I don't give a fuck that you've got kids, I'll kill you. So I was like, okay. I was quite calm. I'm quite a calm person under these circumstances. As I said, because there was no one in my house, it was just me. They then put me into a cupboard into my bedroom and shut the door. Obviously, I know now they're leaving the house. So I do my best. I managed to untie myself, to get the gaffer tape off, open the door, and literally just outside my door is the panic buttons. Hit the panic buttons, alarm goes off. I run downstairs, trying to get out of the house. Obviously, I'm dazed, so my head's been smashed open, my eyes bleeding, my eyes pretty much blown out. And I'm like, how do I get out of the house? So I couldn't find my keys. The door was deadlocked at the front. And I was thinking, well, how have they got in my house? I run to the garage, I blip the garage door goes up, I walk out and I just start shouting, call the police, call the police. The neighbours have all come out because they've heard this commotion at like 4 o'clock in the morning. Police come in, about 6, 7 police, I think 3 police cars. And one of the police guys like, are you okay? Let me sort your eye out. Do you need to go to hospital and stuff? I'm like, yeah, I don't want to go to hospital. I'm cool. And then this was weird. Another copper come in, he's recognised me. And he's like, you're that YIANNIMIZE guy, aren't you? And I just looked at him and I'm like, really? Like, you can see my eyes blown up. Obviously I've been robbed in my house and you're saying I'm that YIANNIMIZE guy. When you're in that situation, you're worried about your life. You're thinking, what's going on? When he mentioned my name and said, Yianni, where's the Richard Mille? I knew I was set up. This wasn't a random robbery. Someone told him this is where he lives and the chances are he's gonna have some watches and he might have some cash. The watches, yes, they got lucky with the cash because I said I don't have cash in the house. Your mind starts thinking, who could it be? Who set you up? Who do you trust? Your friends, really your friends? People look at you when you're in the street and you think, do they know? Are they involved? Question everyone and everything around you. Paranoid, can't sleep. Play things back in your mind. Could I have done things differently? Could I have hit the panic button, thrown a punch? Could I have managed to get the bat, run? Could I have jumped out the window? I still do that to this day. Sometimes I'll drive to work and something will just trigger my memory back to the robbery and I'll be like, I could have done this. But if only I'd done that. That's a mental thing to get over and I don't know if people ever recover from something like that. So they asked all the questions. They fingerprinted all the house and stuff and they left. This is about 7, 8 in the morning now. Obviously I've got CCTV. So what do? We pull the CCTV up when the police are there. You can see the 3 guys walking across the back of my house, the field. And obviously I couldn't work out how they got into the house. And what you'll see here is they use that window and they pop the window and they've all climbed through the window. Now you're gonna say, was the alarm not on? Did you not set the alarm? Stupid enough, no, didn't set the alarm. You can set an alarm where you can have just the downstairs on or you can have the full house on. Obviously, if you're in the house at night, usually just set the downstairs. Didn't put the alarm on. And I bet there's people watching this thinking, man, we've got an alarm, we never put the alarm, it's never gonna happen to us. Why would it happen to us? And I guarantee you, 90% of people do this. You're at home, your alarm goes off when you're at home. What's the first thing you do? Blip, turn it off. It must be a false alarm. Don't do that. I don't want to wake the neighbours up. Oh my God, it's quite late. Oh my God, the alarm's going off. How do you know it's a false alarm? And I bet there's people looking at each other now and looking at their family and be like, we do that. We do that. Don't do that. Check first. Let the alarm ring. Don't worry, your neighbours will forgive you. So the police were doing their investigations as we continue on. I'll be honest with you, didn't feel like the police showed any love. I didn't think they really cared. I didn't believe they would do anything at all. And I'm not here to bash the police, but it just didn't. You know when you just know. Anyway, so I continued living my life. I had a lot of friends come down that found out, that supported me, that showed love. My cousin came and stayed around my house because obviously I didn't want to stay in my house on my own, because usually when someone gets robbed, they usually come back. So for a few days, we're sitting there waiting, thinking, okay, if they come back, we're going to try and be awake. And it was a really bad time, really, really bad time. And then obviously when you have social media, when you have people that like to talk, information gets out there. And you start seeing a few comments here and there. As I said, it wasn't common knowledge, but you see a few people throw comments up there and be like, oh yeah, you got robbed, don't mess with me, bruv. You see you get robbed, like that can happen to you. And there were people that I knew, I wasn't friends with them. The rumour out there was they got my Richard Mille. And it was bothering me because I knew they didn't get my Richard Mille. That was the thing they came for, and they didn't get it. And I remember saying to myself, I need to go away. So I jumped on a plane and went to Dubai. And again, this might have been stupid of me, but I remember posting a picture, I think sitting on the plane with my hand down, and I took the picture just to show that I'm wearing my Richard Mille, as if to say, you didn't get that. That's what you came for, you didn't get that. And for other people that were chatting shit about me to say, they didn't get that watch, you're all saying they got it, it's there.
By the way guys, while we're in this car, I thought I'd show you Yianni's watch. Check it out. He's got the Richard Mille. This is actually limited, 1 of 50, right?
It is.
Damn, over 100,000 pounds, guys.
And that watch I actually sold about 2 years later by a friend of mine called Yianni. He sold that watch for me. And anyway, so I'm still living my life, but very differently now. Paranoid, cars behind me. If I'm pulling into my road, if a car's behind me, I'll drive past my road, I'll pass past the gate, I won't pull in. Just on edge all the time, on edge all the time. So I remember I had to go to Vegas. I can't remember what it was for, if it was a stag or whatever. Now I've had my security team come in, you probably know them, Shebang, who do all my stuff. So I've said to them, what we're going to do is like, let me put lasers on your house. So if someone crosses the laser beam, they will send a signal to a 24-hour monitoring system to send the police and send security. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm in Vegas, the alarm gets triggered. It's them again. Now you're thinking, well, how do we know it's definitely them? They've come through the same window. Cool, could be a coincidence. But inside my house, I have sensors. So they went living room, stairs, my bedroom, safe. You would only know that if you've been in my house. The only problem is now, my safe's open because there's nothing in there. I'm wearing my one watch because I'm away and there's nothing in the safe. If that safe was closed at the time, they would have been trying to get into their safe and they'd have probably got caught. Because when I look at the CCTV, I can see the police arrived about 2 minutes, 30 seconds after the laser was triggered. And I think they had my house on high alert because obviously I'd been robbed in the house and stuff. But after they came back for a second time, I was like, yeah, no, I'm not living here. I'm not living here, I can't live here. And as I said before, I was fortunate enough that my kids weren't in the house. I didn't have a girl at the time, so it was only me. But my kids stay with me, so I need to worry about them. So I moved to flats. So I'd live in a flat. I lived in a flat in Hampstead. I lived in Arkley, first, second or third floor. That means then they can't get in. They can only come through the front door. So then you feel a lot more safe. Then you know if the front door is fully secure. And also if you live in a flat, they don't actually know which door is yours. So if you live in a flat and there's 10 flats or 20 flats, they don't know which is yours. It always played on my mind. Who done it? Who set me up? You hear whispers. It was this person. It was that person. It was definitely this person. I've got my suspicions. Do I know 100% who it was? No. It's probably better that I don't know who it is. And my biggest thing is, it's not even the people that come into the house. Yeah, they're animals and for them coming in, but it's the people that send them. That's the person that you have the issue with because that's the person that sent people in your house. It's totally changed how I view things and how I live my life. Do I still wear a watch? Yes. Would I wear it in certain places? No. Of course, if you go to the bar, you go to a certain place, yeah, you'll wear it because you feel a lot safer. But I used to wear my Richard Mille, honestly, like it was like a Casio. I'd wear it. going to car shows. I'd wear it going out in London. I'd just wear it every day. Because I didn't think, oh my God, someone's going to try and steal this watch. If I had that watch now, would I wear it now? Not a hope in hell. That would be in a safety deposit box where people should leave their stuff now. It's not about leaving stuff in your house. So you're probably watching this thinking, well, why did you film a full series on your house, doing up your house and showing us the things in your house, from the kitchens to the bathrooms and the refurb? I'm proud of what I've achieved in life. I've worked hard. I've earned it. Nothing was given to me. And I don't really want to let people dictate my life, and I want to do what I want to do. There's nothing in the house that's valuable with regards to money, jewellery. The most valuable thing in my house are my family. It's my wife and my kids. And that is why you see me go all out with security, cameras, to lasers, to 24-hour monitoring system, to obviously my main thing is my dog. People have 24-hour security on their houses. The problem is a 24-hour security guard, they can be paid off, they can fall asleep. A dog doesn't fall asleep. And when he loves your family, he's there for you, and you both protect the house together, especially if I'm not at home. It just gives my kids and my wife reassurance. Because it's happened to me once doesn't mean it can't happen again. One of my friends also got robbed in his house. The only difference is for him, his son was there. And they beat his son up until the dad, my friend, gave out all the information that they wanted. So I'm very fortunate enough that it was only me and I just took a few licks, and it's not the end of the world, and I'm here to tell the story. But it could have been a lot worse. I think it was probably God's way of saying, listen, Jan, you're enjoying life, you're having fun, you're out there, you're celebrating, you're very showy. You need to slow down. My worry is always with my wife, if she gets out the car and she's got to get the kids out and she's got to put them in the house, she's a target. Fortunate enough, the dog's sitting there waiting, so the dog will sit and watch her do what she needs to do. We've got security that we can phone, and they will meet her at the house and they wait there and they watch her, and once she's gone in the house, then it's fine. My biggest thing was that I'm a heavy sleeper and she's not. The littlest noise, she's up. And that gave me reassurance to be able to sleep. I could sleep peacefully at night knowing that, yes, as much as the alarms are on and everything else, if she heard something, she'd wake me up straight away. And I wouldn't sleep through it or be woken up by being smashed on the side of my head. We have the alarm on all the time now. As I said, I come home at 3 in the morning, I didn't put the alarm on. Our alarm's on all the time, CCTV. Someone watching the cameras all the time. Is it a way to live? No. But does it give you peace of mind? Yes. The UK is mad right now, and people are hungry. And I've seen people post up saying, well, you know what, if people are struggling, is it really their fault if they can't afford to live? Robbing someone else for their stuff that they've worked hard for? I'm sure there's going to be question marks here, and I'm sure people have their own thoughts. I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. I genuinely believe you're going to see on the news in the near future that someone's tried to be robbed in their car, and that person has accelerated and run over the individual that tried to rob them, maybe even killed them. And then the police are going to try and prosecute the guy that was getting robbed. And there's going to be a big uproar in the UK and be like, well, hold on a minute, he was defending himself, he was just trying to get away. Because you know what happens, people come onto your property, they fall over, and then you get sued, even though they're on your property robbing you. Moving forward, I don't really like going to London anymore. I used to always love a convertible, don't really want to drive around with the roof down. I've told my friends they need to be careful. I went out for dinner recently, no one was wearing a watch, or if they were, it was an Apple Watch. Because people just don't want to be targeted. So yeah, I just wanted to tell you guys my story, what had happened to me, because it's happening out there on a daily basis. If you're watching this story, makes you think twice about posting a picture with your watch or being a little bit flash or a little bit extravagant, think twice. It can happen to anyone. The world we live in now, I'd probably say maybe a few years back, people are making more money than they ever have. From whether you're doing Bitcoin, YouTube, the YouTube money is insane. So there's a lot of young people making millions of pounds, and they don't know to not wear a nice watch, or to not drive a flash car, or to wear the big chain. You never think it's going to happen to you. So this video is for my friends, my family, people that watch me. If this video can help one of you think twice, then it's done a good job. So this happened to me about 6-7 years ago. and I've kept it inside all this time, and it just felt this was the right time after seeing everything that's going on, and especially what happened to Oba. And you don't have to be really rich or drive the best car or have the most expensive watch. You could have a $5 grand Rolex, they'll still come and take it off you. So be safe, listen to what I said, and know that not everything's rosy just because someone drives a nice car or has a big house. There's usually a story behind it and what someone's living through. So you now know my story, you now know the truth, what really happens. And hopefully I never have to experience it again, and hopefully my family will be safe forever. Thanks for watching.